Hey guys, I'm Molly here with Design Loves Detail. We are talking about small bedrooms today and a few tips for how you can make them look bigger. I'm here at the flip house to show a couple of the bedrooms here because I have two bedrooms that were really small. About 11 by 10 is the size. Here we are in this bedroom, and the first tip I have for you when you have a small space is to ditch the dresser. As hard as it may be, that is just one of the things that I think makes a small room feel even smaller. And that's not to say ditch the storage, because I think that there are a ton of great nightstand options just like these that have more of a dresser look to them. We've got the 3 drawers on either side, and really these two together would make a full dresser if you think about the space that they provide. I love these ones, beautiful detail, and it really does give you I think what you need for the storage aspect. And there's still a closet in this space as well. Hopefully in the rooms you're working with there is. Sometimes you need to bring in a wardrobe piece, but I think that these are really good in terms of adding storage and not taking up too much space. In this space you can see that I added some storage type space as well. These are more of a cabinet and they have shelves inside, but it gives you still a good amount of storage. And I want to say that another huge factor is bringing in symmetry. As random as that sounds, symmetry kind of gives that balance, and it helps smaller spaces so that there's less going on. It really cleans up the design and makes it so that you can focus more on the space instead of maybe, different things on either side of the bed. It's just gonna take away that busyness and allow the space to feel a little bit more zen, a little bit more symmetrical, peaceful, open, tranquil, all those things when you have good symmetry going on. Another thing to take into consideration is the bed that you choose. So in this case, I went for a headboard because we can just have that flush against the wall, basically, no footboard, so that this visual space is really open. So I either usually go for a headboard or I'll go for a bed that has a more open frame so that visually it's not feeling heavy to the eye. Because anything like that, when we have a big bulky bed, it just doesn't feel right in terms of proportion, and it's just clunky. It feels like it's hard to get around, and it can really hinder a space. In this room, we have a queen size bed, so we still get a nice size bed without all that bulk and fluff and extra stuff we don't need. We get the beautiful detail of the headboard with that woven element, and then it's just real minimal and clean. In this space, of course, I did end up doing the headboard, but because it's a more open frame, it doesn't visually impede things. So this room is about the same size as the other one, and we are able to have just kind of a cool detail with the metal frame that still feels kind of open and airy, but gives us a little bit of pop and contrast so the bed can become the focal point. And that's definitely something to be thinking about in terms of the placement of the furniture and how you can kind of make the room feel as big as possible. There's definitely, sometimes only one option, and so you're limited. One thing that I do want to talk about as well is paint color, because in a small room, a lot of times people have a different wall color and trim color, so there's really two-tone paint, and sometimes the ceiling's a different color. When you have smaller spaces, the ideal scenario for paint is to have it one color. So we have literally the same color sheen paint on the ceiling, walls, trims, and doors in here. And the reason that that makes a difference in a small space is that you have essentially nothing to stop the eye. When you have, again, like when I was talking about kind of simplifying visually with symmetry, the paint is sort of that same way. We don't want to have our eye kind of be caught by all these contrasts in the paint when it changes to the trim or the doors. We want to just keep where you kind of just feel like you're encased by the same color, so that doesn't become distracting and make it feel like it's kind of coming in on you, or just makes the space more divided and there's more going on, and so you feel it in a small space, and we want to eliminate that. For the last one, for making our small room feel larger, think about the colors that you choose. I definitely, in this home, and some people commented on this, why is there no big accent color? You didn't make it very exciting. And that's true, because we wanted to keep it real neutral so that it was kind of a blank slate. So anytime you start bringing kind of an accent color, it can possibly be a deterrent for somebody who doesn't like that color. And so keeping it neutrals, even though it can feel a little boring sometimes, definitely is good for someone being able to visualize adding in their personality to the space. So especially with a flip, that is what what I go for. I mean, I do personally love texture over color. Like I want to bring in a lot of texture and interesting details over lots of color, but the flip was extra neutral for sure. If you're living in a home, you can bring in those colors that resonate with you, and then that really can kind of finish off a space. In this case, I did go neutrals, but I did bring in a little bit of the pop of black, you know, which gives us some contrast. But when I'm doing things like draperies in a small room, I really want to keep those close to the wall color. So again, we don't have things that are kind of breaking the sight, you know, line as our eye kind of travels through the space. We just want it to feel real seamless, and so that we aren't focusing on that, hey, this is a small room, kind of pushing the walls out and keeping things like the layers just really subtle so that it's not anything that's going to make it feel extra cluttered or busy. A few ideas for you as you're working on small spaces, kind of keep those in mind. Definitely measure your space twice. So you can see how we were able to utilize basically every inch of this wall with the nightstand, the bed and nightstand. It just takes the whole thing. And that's really what I think you want to aim for when you have a small space, to fill it all and use it wisely. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. We'd love to have you subscribe and hit that bell to be notified of future videos as well. Check us out at designlovedsdetail.com, sign up for the newsletter, and over on Instagram at designlovesdetail.